I'm sorry, you're a journalist. My English is not so good. CNN?
Together, they decided to build a network to bring ecstasy into Israel because we have such a good market here. Yeah, of course all these kids are mine. What kind of stupid question is that? 7. Alma, Bati, Gadi, Daya, Herschel, Zichron, and Yitzchak.
Hi, my name is Iris Bar. I am an actress / author / comedian / frustrated, neurotic human being / happy person.
This is Studio 360, and we are high atop Los Angeles at the Getty Center. I'm Kurt Anderson. Please welcome my new friend, the alter ego of Iris Bar, who is an actor and playwright, Svetlana Maximovich-Kraslov.
Men are animals, let's be honest. But there are some exceptions. You know, the Argentinians, they are fantastic lovers. And Bill O'Reilly, also fantastic.
Bill O'Reilly.
I was born and raised in the Bronx, and I moved to Israel when I was 13 with my mom. My parents are both Israeli originally. I served in the army for 2 years. I had kind of lost my virginity a little late, and I embarked on a trip to Asia. One of the reasons was to kind of hopefully lose it, which I chronicled in my book, Dork Whore. My travels through Asia as a 20-year-old pseudo-virgin.
I've only had it once, and that was only kind of. He was a Moroccan paratrooper, oddly named Patrick.
My heart is on a platter in this book, pretty much. Very honest, vulnerable account of my sexcapades.
The way I see it today, my punani's become my own personal Gaza Strip. Against occupation, yet lost without it. Unable to get past the partial penetration stage. Wanting nothing more than a stable infrastructure, a proper sewage system, and maybe one day even a rec center.
I had a nice break with Curb Your Enthusiasm as the Orthodox Jewish girl, and that created, like, people were like, oh, you're the girl from Curb. Like, that was, I got nice recognition from that. There's no other way. Somebody's gonna have to jump. You're gonna have to jump.
What are you, nuts?
Larry gave an immense amount of creative freedom.
What? What are you doing? Are you insane?
Curb Your Enthusiasm was by far the best TV experience I've ever had. I had the idea a few years ago about writing a play that would depict Israeli society as I know it, and also kind of instill a visceral sensation in the audience of what it's like to live under constant tension. UN, ladies and gentlemen.
It's great that Die is being done at the UN. It's a fitting location for it. We're hoping that we're going to get a really interesting cross-section of audience tonight.
It's really neat that it's at the UN. You know, to even incorporate performance and politics in general is like, oh, artists? What do they have to say? Maybe it's an important viewpoint.
I'm extremely excited. There are a lot of people here. I just met the German ambassador and the Danish ambassadors here. We're expecting the American ambassador to show up. And just a lot of people, and it's great. Good vibe, and we'll see what happens.
The performance you're going to see tonight portrays what a multifaceted country Israel truly is. And we can think of no better way to portraying it than really through art. Art in the service of diplomacy, which we hope we're doing tonight. Enjoy the show. Thank you very much for being with us.
Nobody cares what the Israelis have to say. They live like kings. Can you hear the cafe? It's like a bloody party.
The event of the play is that we get to meet a group of people that are inhabiting a restaurant in Tel Aviv just before a suicide bomber enters.
Oh, there he is. I wasn't sure he was coming. Oh, such a handsome boy. I bought him that suit, very expensive Armani.
This is a piece of art that I just wanted to bring to people. This is not a polemic.
A kid is hated 1 year in school. He's traumatized for life. These guys have been hated since the beginning of time. Before there was anybody on the dinosaurs hated the Jews.
I really explore different facets of Israeli society. Every character has their own truth. So yes, you have the West Bank settler.
There was never a Palestinian state governed by Arab Palestinians. Not even a national movement of sorts until 1964, led by Yasser Arafat, who was an Egyptian.
And then I have the Palestinian professor who talks about Israel's total lack of efficacy.
I cannot blame our youth. Hate overpowers every other thought process in their brain.
And the own Israelis that criticize. I always thought that was more powerful when Israelis are criticizing themselves as opposed to the cliche of like, oh, what does a suicide bomber think?
People like Yossi think it's okay to live in the middle of the Palestinian land. It's their land, let them live themselves.
The Long Island expat, who's like, she can't stand to be in Israel, she's better than this.
I will let my children die for this idea? Yes, two. A boy and a girl. Cassidy and Dylan. Do you want to see photos?
Most of the audiences relate, like know that person. Like, I know that woman. I know 6 of that, you know, women like that.
And I want to hear his records full volume blasting through the speakers.
This experience really makes that extremely real and kind of real time. People really get into it and they go on this roller coaster of they're with the character 1 minute and then the character's dead the next, right in front of their eyes, within a second. What happened?
I should tell these people, why cram yourself in a tiny space near the Mediterranean surrounded by people that hate you? Come to Phoenix. Phoenix is funny, right?
We have to touch them by humor and say things in a way that it gets them. They respond with a laugh, but they think about it.
Come on, you know, I'm the real artist. I put myself in harm's way. This is the real drop.
You cannot have people sit through a 90-minute play about a suicide bombing. The whole point was that I wanted people to connect on an emotional level and an entertaining level, first and foremost, and a theatrical level, to characters, whether they have any idea what's going on in Israel, whether they don't.
There's a certain universality that I think makes it appropriate for the UN. I mean, unfortunately, it's universal at this point in our world history.
How amazing to have one night to bring the show to all these people and stimulate dialogue between them, you know?